Hello! Thank you for tuning into this week's reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them, of course. That being said, for the main part of the read, I'm using Gilded Tarot Royale by Chiro Marchetti. And the text is by Barbara Moore. If you need to freeze frame to see the spelling, I understand, definitely. I knew the website a minute ago, and my brain said, forget that information. I want to say it's llewellyn.com. Here, I'll just show it to you. It's there at the bottom, I just can't read it at the moment. So hopefully it's focusing on camera. If we get a little closer, it gives you some social media links too, so feel free to check that out. I want to say it's Llewellyn, I could be wrong. Oracle cards, spellcasting oracle cards by Flavia, Barbara, and Lisbeth. That's how you spell their names. Website on the back that I always notice is shewhoisart.com. Feel free to check that out if you would like to. I think there's a couple other ones on there too, so I'll move it up so you can see anything you want to see. And I use dice. I use a 22-sided dice for the major arcana. I substitute 22 for 0 for the Fool. And then I have a 14-sided dice for the minor arcana and a 4-sided dice to choose the element to match up with the minor arcana. They're from here, the math, I think it's mathartfun.com. Hopefully you can see that website if you want to. I think it's mathartfun.com. Alright. That being said, if you would like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and let's get into your reading. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? Alright, let's get... Ooh, your card. Card right in the beginning. We like that. Alright, let's see what else we got going on here. The ability to adjust. The ability to adjust. So this is going to be an interesting one because it goes well. There's this moment where you think you failed. You just got to adjust a little bit and you're right back where you want to be. So that's kind of like the snapshot of this. Hopefully we get more here. Because there's something here going on where all you have to do is adjust. Which may seem a little too simple. But it's interesting. It's kind of like, all right, that didn't work, but I still have all these assets. Let me apply them here instead and still get my outcome that I'm looking for, which is interesting. So like I keep getting jump aheads, so I'll do it again. So it's almost like I'm planning a vacation. I find out my reservation was canceled, but I still have the money and everybody's ready to go. The plane ticket's still going to the same place. But like I find another opportunity in that same area that's even better than I expected. I don't really like how it happens, but I'm like the outcome, I still get my happy day. Something like that, because it's kind of like something throws you off and you're just like, oh my god, we just flat out failed. But if you just kind of keep going, switch your perspective just a little bit, you didn't fail. You just got to look for that other option. Like, you know, if you're, for example, your vacation reservations were canceled and you didn't know, and you're like, oh my god, we're going tomorrow. Like, we can't cancel all this other stuff. What are we going to do? Something else, like doing a quick move, like that's not what, Virgo wouldn't like that, granted, but if somebody helps you succeed, you still find what you need, you're still able to go, and you get even maybe a better outcome. Overall, you're like, I really prefer it went the way it was supposed to, but still not losing. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like this is going. So let's see what we got here. Because there is random energy around this. I swear this happens all the time when I read Earth. Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, y'all Earth. In my mind, Earth does not like the Wheel of Fortune. In my mind, Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn do not like the Wheel of Fortune. And I swear it shows up every time now. But in this situation, it's randomness around you that I think is actually going to go to your benefit. Again, it's not your flavor. It's not your cup of tea. But at least it's going to go to your benefit, because I get that something's been planned for a while. Whatever this is, I feel like you're in your moment currently. Currently, it's going in a good direction. You might have somebody helping you. You could be leading this on your own. It's possible. It depends how you're connecting to this. But there's an energy here where I'm like, I'm in my element. Things are going where I want them to go. The plan seems to make sense. The plan is in motion. It's in appropriate motion. It's not just like the plan is in motion. It's in appropriate motion for what you believe it should be. So currently the plan is in appropriate motion. This situation did start very randomly and very haphazardly is what I'm also getting, which is interesting to me. There might be an element here where it did start a little random, a little haphazard, and it might be something that it's back far enough that I'm not really paying attention to it. But if I look backwards, I'm like, you know what, that was kind of a precarious start. Maybe it's something I didn't take very seriously in the beginning, and then it became something. This energy is a good energy, but I do feel like this is where the misconceptions or something wasn't done correctly. And that's where we're going to have an issue in the future, but it's not going to be a fail. This might be also the same energy that started it, that there's a little error with, might be the same energy that works with you that saves the day. So let's keep that in mind. I like the energy. The energy is good. It feels good. This here, I feel like that's kind of simple, so there's a simple energy with it, but maybe it's supposed to be, but I don't feel like it's going to give you what you want. Things moving forward, King of Fire, what's the other one? The Tower card, like, I'm getting the King of Fire and the Tower card kind of like, this energy, it does have, it's a little bumpy, it's a little crumply, it's a little rough, but it does seem to be self-sufficient. And what I mean by that is, like, this is somebody who, like, they don't plan the best, but even though they don't plan the best, they do make sure it all pulls through in the end. They fix their own problems, if that makes sense. They may be the cause of their own problems, but they also fix their own problems. I'm getting that energy. Only time I feel like this actually bothers you is when they drag you along with it. Even though it does work out well in the end, I do feel like I don't feel like my feet are stable below me, and it doesn't make me comfortable. I don't like that, and I get that, but I do feel like this is an energy that you do seem to get along with. You do seem to get along with this energy. Okay, so this seems to be a big piece of this too. I think we're tying into the same person again, where, like, you know, they cause their own problems, they fix their own problems. And if you're connected with them, I feel like you kind of know that, but I feel like you're also good with communication with them. Whatever communicating you feel is necessary. I don't feel like I have these moments where I'm like, oh, I should have said that, or, you know, oh, I should say this. I don't think that happens. I think you do communicate with this person fairly well. Let me just roll the dice just to be sure. So that is a strong energy. Seven of Cups. When something doesn't seem to make sense, you do bring it forward. When you're like, oh, you're going to do that, and that's going to lead over here. I feel like it's more like, you seem to be more kind of like, oh, how do we get there? You're saying we're going to show up in this town and end up in a town 500 miles away. Are we taking a boat? What's happening? Like, are we taking a boat? Are we taking a plane? Are we taking a bus? Are we driving ourselves? Are we using pedal bikes to get there? What's going on? There might be a little bit of I keep getting, for some of you, maybe there's a little sarcasm in the communication. It's kind of funny, even though it's serious. It's kind of like, I really do want that answer, but I bring it forward in a funny way. Some of you might have that. Like sarcasm. I keep getting something about sarcasm. But it's kind of like disarming sarcasm, not like sarcasm. It's like, you know, just like, I don't know. I feel like if you do it, you know what I'm talking about. And the other energy doesn't seem to be bothered by it. I feel like it might be, it's almost like somebody's love language. It almost feels like it. I don't know if sarcasm really is a love language. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it almost feels like it to me. So the current energy is good. There's a lot of positive energy here. There's a lot of, like, even though you're asking questions when appropriate, something's missing. And I keep getting, it's like something isn't going to come forward like it needs to. Or something is like, oh, obviously they did that. How else would that happen? They're saying we're going to go to this town, and then we're going to go to this other, we're going to, you know, end up in this one place and go to this next one. It's kind of like, oh, I'm just assuming, like they were talking about the plane tickets, so I'm assuming they got them. And that might be the thing. Maybe that's the thing. They're saying they got the plane tickets, or they were talking about the plane tickets, which everybody was like, well, they were talking about them, so they obviously have them, and they don't have them. It could be something like this. That Fool energy with the happiness is like we're just kind of going along with it. We believe somebody else has control, and they kind of do, but there's some little details that aren't so little that maybe haven't been taken care of. That's, I feel like, the snag that's coming up. Is there a way that Virgo can get ahead of this? Is there a way? Two of Cups reversed and the Tower card. No. I'm getting whatever it is because it's a general read. It's really kind of like I'm not expecting that to be a problem. And I feel like whatever this is, there's so many different directions I could look in. It's like, I hate the term needle in a haystack. I feel like that's too general. It's kind of like, it's kind of like thinking the house is all locked before I'm going away. And then, like I didn't check all the windows and doors, but I thought somebody else did. And I'm just like, I'm not going to go through this. Maybe for example, maybe it's a large house, like a large house with a lot of different windows and doors and different ways to do things. And it's kind of like, there's certain places where I'm just like, why would that even be open? Like maybe there's a vent in the attic. Why would that be even open? And certain things like that maybe haven't been taken care of. Or maybe like there's a skylight in the attic that's still open. And like it's not even occurring to me that somebody not only opened it, but left it open. Stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this. You can try to get ahead of it. I understand why you would. But I feel like you can track down as many things as possible, but the thing that you need is not going to come forward because I don't think it's in your control is what I'm getting. So anyway, whatever this moment is, it's going to happen, but it's kind of like it's the leading up to it that seems to be the more important thing. The Hermit on the dice, that's your card, that's the Virgo card, and then the Three of Wands, things move forward, things start moving forward. Now, when things start moving forward, I do feel like Virgo's normal energy double checks things, maybe even triple checks things. But for some reason with this situation, there's a lot going on, and I feel like I don't have time to double triple check. It's almost like I feel like Virgo, Earth energy, say tomorrow we're going to go to this town and we're going to look around. I feel like a lot of times, probably not every time, but a lot of times, Virgo will be like, oh, okay, what are our plans? Where are we going to go? How are we going to get there? And like checking all the plans like the day before, maybe even a couple days before. Like probably like a third check would be the day before. Like you probably have checked it a couple times and this is just like another final check before I go to bed, making sure everything's stable so I can sleep easy. And I'm feeling like whatever the situation is, I don't feel like I have the luxury to do that. They're saying try to not miss that opportunity. This could be helpful. Am I going to say this right? Because I don't want to make it... Okay. So they're saying you normally would double check, possibly triple check is what I'm getting for a lot of you. And they're saying it's so busy that you maybe don't do that. It's almost like I get back to the hotel at the end of the day. I'm exhausted. I'm just like, they have it under control, I'm sure. And I just crash. They're saying that's understandable, but that's not going to help this the best. The idea here is kind of like to still do what you normally would do. Even if this is something where I don't feel like that's right for me to do because somebody else is in control of this. So I'm not the one leading this, so I shouldn't do that. I feel like that's rude. Ironically, they're saying do your normal thing, hold the ground, and then like double check stuff the day before. I keep getting something about the day before because it seems like that makes sense. Because I feel like you can find a way to kind of like, oh, I'm just planning and I'm just deciding what I'm going to, bring with me or whatever. I just wanted to like verify the plans for tomorrow so I make sure like what's going on. So it's almost like, okay, we're going to ride this bus to here, we're going to do this there, we're going to do that there, we're going to do that there. It's in doing that moment, it's like the day before, I feel like it's the day before, by doing that moment kind of going, oh, I just want to make sure I planned correctly and I have everything I need. So I just wanted to go through the itinerary really quick for tomorrow, if that's okay. So we're gonna get up, we're gonna eat, we're gonna get on the bus, and they're like, well, we're gonna get on something. And you're like, well, you have a bus, right? You rented a bus. Well, I figured we'd just figure it out tomorrow. We have to go 500 miles. Like, like we have, like, I feel like that's where you're gonna be able to catch it. That's where the healing can come in. It's like checking the day before just to make sure the plans are all set. I feel like that's where you're going to find the snag. I feel like that's where you're going to be like, oh, it gives you not a lot of time, but more time to sort it out, which is better. So if this was playing out the same way, I feel like I would probably be up most of the night trying to fix this or plan this. And then first thing in the morning, if places weren't open, I'd be calling immediately, kind of like, can you do this? Can you do that? And trying to make it work out. I do get a better option is coming. I just feel like, and I feel like this is one of the ways you can help this turn out in a good way. I don't feel like I don't like the jumble. I don't like that. I feel like that's going to be a problem. I don't like it. I also feel like, well, here I am, so I just got to keep moving. As long as I can keep moving and shift perspective, there's not a total loss here. It takes a lot of communication. It takes energy. Keep energy flowing. It's a lot of intellectual energy. There is going to be this moment where I'm just like, I can't believe they just thought we were going to go 500 miles and we were just going to kind of like, hail a cab. Like, we'll just take a cab, go 500 miles. That's going to be a lot of money, and that's not good. There's going to be this moment you're not happy, but communication, thinking it through, keeping your energy moving, realizing you're designed to be successful. You are designed to be successful, and just kind of like keep looking for the options, keep looking for the possibilities, keep working with other people, keep communicating a lot with this Ace of Swords. You will get a better outcome than expected. Again, I don't see you going yippee skippy that it happened this way. I feel like if it just happened the planned way, you'd have been happier with that anyway. But still, it will lead to a great outcome. It's just not the outcome you expected. When I get the Sun card with transformation, it's not the outcome you expected, not the way you expected, but it's still a great outcome. It's just shifting perspective for that moment and keep flowing with the energy. It is a good outcome. Also realizing that this energy is kind of random, whatever it is. It keeps moving. The Nine of Wands is holding something in usually. That's what I usually get from that. I feel like whatever's going on here, I do feel like whoever maybe made a snafu or whatever, they are appreciative, but I also feel like they're kind of fading to the background because I do feel like they might be embarrassed. That could be a conversation for later, not during. And when I say later, like I would probably let a week, maybe 2 pass if possible, if that's realistic, before I bring it up. Let it settle for a week, maybe 2. Don't bring it up during. Bring it up after and like when things have settled, because I feel like this person will have a moment to kind of like look back on it and go, oh, okay. You know what I mean? They're very thankful for you. They're very thankful for the energy you brought to the situation, but it does seem to work out. I don't think this is a bad situation. I feel like they're just, if this situation comes your way, I feel like they're just trying to set you up in the sense of like, if you have it in the back of your mind that I might have to like switch positions, I might have to adapt quickly, I might have to kind of maneuver this, and you already have that in the back of your mind, like I might have to do that, I'm prepared for it if I need to do that, it'll flow easier for you. I don't see that moment being an enjoyable moment for you, obviously. I feel like that's obvious. But I do feel like it can be a lot more smooth than it usually would be. It doesn't have to be jagged. It can be more smooth. We just keep moving. We keep communicating. We keep moving. We keep communicating, and options come forward, and we're able to solve the problem. We just keep moving in that moment because I feel like in that moment we need to. So, for example, tomorrow morning we're supposed to be going. So I have to utilize every minute that I can to keep this going. So I don't have time to really slow down and really think it out too much, even though I'd like to. I understand you would like to. But by continuing to moving, it goes a lot smoother and it keeps everything on track. It keeps it fairly on schedule, fairly. So, all right. I'm going to shut this down here. I think we're good. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. It's James number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.